Hello, my friends. It is Monday. So hard to believe, and I have got some thoughts on the week ahead. So I have pulled these cards and got them all ready to share with you. And I am super excited to just share these messages with you. I think they're pretty cool. So, first of all, I am really curious who's been feeling this kind of things are coming to an end or things are coming to a head and it's time to get ready to start new things. And the reason why I say that is because we are in the last few weeks of the end of the zodiacal year. So the spring equinox is really the new year of the zodiac, and that's coming up, I believe, on the 19th of March, depending on where you are. It might be the 20th, but I believe that it is on the 19th of March. So we've had a lot of this energies of wrapping up the past year, wrapping up and getting ready to go into the new year. A lot like how we feel during the Christmas season holidays and that whole end of one year moving into another year at New Year's. It's that same kind of feeling. Which is kind of cool because that means that if you haven't done so well on your New Year's resolutions, this is a great time to revisit them and see if perhaps this is the time to reevaluate. Is that what I want to do? Is that something that needs to be adjusted or even straight up thrown out? So yesterday was the new moon, which is very exciting because that means that not only are we starting a 4-week long new cycle, brand new, fresh start, but we're also starting a 6-month cycle that will come to a close at the full moon in Pisces, which will happen on September 17th. So I would say that as of right now, what are we looking at? What do you want to accomplish over the next month? And what do you want to accomplish over the next 6 months? These are great things to keep in mind as we look at the cards that have come up to us. So as you can see, I've got a ton of cards laid out here, and I didn't want to do all the shuffling because I know some people really don't like the sound of the shuffling, but I wanted to have them ready for you. So the first card that I'd like to talk to you about is this one called Valiant Courage. This deck is the Sacred Traveler Oracle deck, and it is so incredibly beautiful. So I'm going to put it back here. Valiant courage, take action with passion. You know, this card is about really starting to move forward fearlessly. You know, this card sits there and says to us, hey, it is time to move along. Let's take some risks. Sure, we might feel afraid, but we're not going to let that stop us. This is like truly that we're not going to play it safe here. We're not going to play small. We're going to go big. We're going to use our bravery and we're going to go forward even when we're not sure how. You know, this is that idea that we talk about a lot whenever we're in coaching conversations with people. Sometimes we get stuck in knowing the how, that we don't take a step forward. We don't need to know the how. We just need to take the step that resonates and aligns the most with what we want our outcome to be. So The other piece of advice that this card gives to us is that we should not allow ourselves to be limited by the beliefs of others or by our own limiting beliefs. We need to go beyond our self-imposed barriers. This is the time for us to take action with passion, live passionately, live courageously. And this is kind of an underlying vibe of what's going on this week. So let's take a look at that and say, okay, this week, what do we want to get done? How am I going to take action with passion? How am I going to move forward courageously? Is there one thing that I can do that feels a little bit out of my comfort zone, but aligns with what I want to achieve this week? And then again, going back to that new moon, hey, what do I want to achieve this month? How can I take action with passion in the next month? How can I do this for the next 6 months? Think about where that might be helpful for you and where you can push yourself to get closer to your goals. The next card is from the Witching Hour Oracle, which is a really, really cool card. This is called The Spirits, Respecting the Spirit. I really like this. This is our empowering message of the week. So this is that message that we are going to remember, that while we are attempting to take action with passion and stepping out of our comfort zone, what else are we going to be doing? We are going to be working in a way that checks in with our higher self. We are going to listen to what our higher self tells us. This is really that understanding that you have intuitive guidance. If you have a religious belief system, this is checking in there. If you have a spiritual belief system, it's checking in there. And it's not about checking in during emergencies. This is about creating a daily foundational spiritual practice where you are really digging in. Now, on top of creating that practice, which I think is something that I'm encouraging a lot of people to do, because I think that the rest of this year is going to be a pretty tough year. And so it will be helpful for us to have some kind of foundational practice to regulate our nervous systems. And most often those tend to be spiritual practices. I don't mean religious. I mean truly spiritual, in the sense of what is right for you as an individual, as your spirit, what is authentic for you, and what nurtures your soul in a way that allows you to settle in, to be okay, to detach a tiny bit from what's going on around you and allow your nervous system to regulate. This really is a card that reminds us to use our heart, not just our logic. Logic is always important, but this is the reminder to use our heart to make decisions. So the big messages of the kind of energy that's with us this week is really doing things that we're a little bit afraid of, but they have to be in alignment with who we are, what makes sense for us to reach our goals. The other card that gives us a sense of energy through the week is this Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles. So this is kind of like the feel of the week. Now, when you look at her, you'll see, sure, she's standing on one foot. She is balanced, but she's really balanced. She looks pretty solid to me. She is rooted into the ground. And I like this card because the page is the younger group of the court cards. So they are usually learners. They are excited to try new things. You know, she has a whole lot of patience standing there on her one foot, which is awesome, but she has to be so focused. Now, I don't know if you have ever danced, but I spent many years dancing, and one of the things that we would do is spinning or standing on one foot a lot and getting that balance. Okay. And there are tricks that we do as dancers to balance ourselves, and all of them take focus. So she is incredibly focused. And for whatever reason, I'm going to share with you the number one trick of balance, because I find it such an interesting little, I think it's a really good metaphor here. So when you are standing on one foot, you need to imagine that you have a rope in the core of your body that stretches out through the top of your head, and it's pulling very, very tight. And you can imagine that it lifts your body and it pulls you straight up in the direction. This will give you more balance. Now, if you stick one leg out to the side, we imagine that the rope continues to go out your head. So it's pulling you in that direction, but the rope also continues to go through the foot that you're standing on, as well as through the foot that's going out to the side. So we've got this tension that is there, and the tension is what keeps us in place. And I find that an interesting thing. This tension that we were talking about before of being able to move forward with courageousness in the face of fear, but doing it in a way that is authentic, it creates that nice tension of, oh, this feels good. This feels strong. This feels grounded. And so I kind of think it's pretty cool that this card comes up, because I always think of that. So those kind of make sense to me together. So the rest of the cards, we have the Five of Swords, which it sure looks like this man's got a headache. There's someone chirping in his ear. Do you have someone chirping in your ear? You might find that that happens today. That somebody, maybe it's me chirping in your ear saying, hey, you need to take that action. And, you know, look, you can achieve your goals. Do you see how he's on the mountain back there? But he's worrying about it. Maybe we just need to take our action. Fives are, you know, really a place of disruption. Fives to me are the hardest cards in the deck. Doesn't matter what the suit is. This happens to be in swords. This is where we're talking about logic, ideas, intellect, communication. These are the things that we think about. So there might be a whole lot of chatter going on in your head today, and that's okay. I'm going to refer you back to your valiant courage and listening to your higher spirit and being grounded and focused on your goals. That will help you get through that chatter, which will then lead us into the energy of 7, the Chariot. This is some serious, fast action going on. Now, what's interesting is that there's a balance here, you know, opposing forces. But look, there's also a balance to the rider of the chariot, the driver of the chariot. He looks pretty easy sitting on top of that. It doesn't look like he's working too hard to stay balanced. Again, balance, focus, pulling opposing forces together, taking action. I see that this is what we're moving towards this week. I think that what we need to be aware of is that we need to have a plan. We need to be taking a look at what's around us, taking a look to see what our obstacles might be, and plan accordingly. I also think it's important that, especially right now, that we only take what we need. We don't need to take all of the things to feel secure and stable. We only need to take what we need. On the other hand, I also sit there and go back to this, being afraid but taking action, relying on your higher power, being focused, getting grounded. And I sit there and I say, we also don't need to do all of the actions in 1 week. So perhaps this is the time to sit here and say, what do we really need to get done this week? What will most move us towards our goals this week, whether that's in our business, in our home lives, in our relationships, whatever it is, okay? What is it that is needed? What are the minimum requirements? And remember that we don't have to do all the things in one time. The other thing is that when we are sitting there and we are taking the time to evaluate what's most important, we have the capability of really relying on our inner self to know what is right. When we have the judgment card is about relying on our inner knowing. It is, these two are buddies. The Spirit's card of trusting your higher self and being in connection with a higher power. These two are buddy cards. The thing is, when we look at the judgment card, if we take it from a Christian religion point of view, the judgment was, those who were deemed worthy would be raised up to heaven, and that insinuates an evaluation. And I think that evaluation needs to be, hey, what do we need to be focused on? I don't think this is about being judged necessarily by other people. But perhaps you do feel that way. So I would be curious to hear what you think about that. I think that the biggest energy of this week is going to be this Eight of Pentacles. This Eight of Pentacles, as you can see, she is at her desk. She has everything she needs. You can see the cycles of the moon. You can see that she has all of the elements in front of her. She has water, earth, fire, air. You can see that she's got the rainbow of colors. She has access to all the rainbows. And there is this shape of the 8 that I am seeing here, which I think is really interesting, which is, if you turn the 8, there's a little 8 here. If you turn the 8 on its side, it's the infinity sign. It's the lemniscate. It goes forever. But I think that this is the reminder that when we do sit down to do our work this week, we have everything we need. This card, if you happen to be a Virgo, this is the card that tells me who you are. This is the attention to details, getting ready to get all the systems in place. This is down and dirty, getting the work done. I think it's an awesome card. And the best part about this is that you're going to be able to remember to not only celebrate your wins this week, but being in relationship with other people. So not just celebrating your wins from this week, but sharing your wins this week. This is super festival feeling to me. You know, this is good times. We are dancing, we are singing, we are having a good time. There is serious action going on here. And that's what I see for this week. I see action. I see celebration of what has been. And then we have, of course, the Knight of Cups. You know, the Knight of Cups, he literally wears his heart on his sleeve. You can see that he has a tattoo, a tattoo of a heart on his sleeve. You know, he wears his heart on his sleeve. It's so funny. This is young love, and it's excitement, and it's messages of love. And so I think that this shows us that the more that we share, what is going on in our world with the people around us, the more messages of love and support we're going to be able to have. I see that we have the Queen of Cups. Look, that's, in theory, the Queen of Cups is the Knight of Cups mother, right, in the court system. But the Queen of Cups shows us feeling in control of your emotions, expressing them in healthy ways, relying on your intuition, and really being a powerful feminine energy. Being a Queen of Cups shows compassion to other people as well as ourselves. This really is the, understanding that not only our emotions, but other people's emotions show us so much of what's going on in the internal landscape of the people around us as well as ourselves. And we are capable of honoring our own and other people's emotions while also not being stepped upon. We can honor each other's emotions, including ourselves, but we can have boundaries. We can have boundaries. That means that while it's absolutely okay for anybody in your life to feel the way that they feel, that doesn't mean that you need to be walked over because of the way that they feel. We have a lot of and energy going on here. You feel that way, and it's okay if I don't cater to that. You feel that way, and I understand how you feel. I agree. You feel that way, and I'm going to allow you to feel that way, but I don't need to take on your emotions as my own. Something in there may resonate with you. This seems like a really fun and exciting week. It seems like a week of really being able to take some risks and learn from it. And even if the risk doesn't work out exactly the way that you had expected it to work out, there's so much to learn and to celebrate from it. So I don't see a whole lot of failure going on here this week. I think that really this is the week to understand that something is urging you on to take some risks that are in alignment with where you want to be at the end of the week, where you want to be at the end of the month, and where you want to be in 6 months. So I hope that something in here resonated with you and felt in alignment with what is going on in your world. I hope it was helpful. If you feel that this information would be helpful for somebody else, please share the link. And like this video, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment below. I would really like to hear what you think as I continue on with, and next week I'll be bringing another reading. So looking forward to chatting with you then, and looking forward to hearing from you. Have a great week.